Try that again. Ran across a tweet today for a young man who was frustrated because he was trying to date a Chinese gal. And I just wanted to give some cultural hints from my own failures, and we'll see if that helps. Dating Chinese women is not easy. This is not because they are horrible people, but because the odds are simply against you. This is the first thing we're going to look at. Due to something referred to as the one-child policy, I think that was between about 1970 and 2000, no Chinese person was allowed to have more than one child. If they went and got a second child, then they were fined and had to pay extra bucks for that kid. So be it. If they had a third child, it was a forced abortion. Now in China, they do not have what we in the West refer to as either Social Security or a government pension. You are on your own, my friend. If you haven't got the money or you haven't got relatives to support you, you are fucked. So what happened during the one-child policy, when a child got married, if the child was female, she abandoned her parents and went to help support her husband's parents. Again, if he's male, then he pulled a new member into the family support system. So it's actually kind of neat because you have two levels of grandparents now, but that's beyond the scope here. Anyhow, so now you've got a lot of need for males to take care of the parents and the grandparents, and you have less need for the females, at least that's how it's seen in society from how I can tell it. And so babies, female babies were often aborted, died. I don't know if that meant were killed or what, but at this point you have 30 million more Chinese men of dating age than you have women of dating age. Now they call it a sexual marketplace for a reason. It is exactly like buying and selling houses, buying cars, vacation packages. You have to come up with a product that someone likes, and if that product is in short supply, then the price goes up. And they are in short supply of females, so trust me, that price has gone up. In order to be successful in the Chinese dating market leading towards marriage, because they tend to date with intention, the young man must have at least one car, at least one property. By the way, you don't buy property in China, you get a 70 to 100-year lease. I've heard 70, someone else the other day said 100. Anyways, it's pretty much a lifetime lease. At the end, that reverts back to the government who sells it again. So you need at least one car, one career, and one property. This has led to what's called the 996 movement, which is working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, which doesn't leave much goddamn time for having a life. So you're seeing folks drop out. From what I've heard, it's males, but I've also been assured females are dropping out. And they've moved into something called, I believe it's Tang Ping, which means lying flat, basically being what we in the West call a slacker. And they're moved on from that to Bailan, yeah, something like that, which means let it rot. So they're divesting themselves from society. So in a way, that might be good for dating because that means there's less males competing for the few females there are. Now, second thing on dating Chinese women. From the best I can tell, Chinese women prefer Chinese men. It's just how it is. It's a cultural thing. What are you going to do? Your best odds in dating a Chinese woman is to find what is insultingly called shengnu. Shengnu means leftover women. Now that was a much more common phrase in prior generations, but it's still around, even though it's getting hammered. People are starting to not act like that, not talk like that, from what I hear. And shengnu means leftover women, and leftover women means a woman who is divorced, a woman who had a child out of wedlock, or a woman who is over 27. I don't know where 27 comes from, but that's the number that keeps popping up. So your dating chances are better with them when they're going for a second time around. Now, me personally, I don't think that dating women with kids is a good idea. That's not because I see them as dirty or sullied, but if you form an attachment with a woman and her child, and then your attachment fades with the woman, you're also going to lose your attachment to the child. And trust me, that is very painful. So I personally avoid it, but your results may vary. If they're over 27 and not married, that may mean they are aspiring to American womanhood. That's my phrase, not theirs. And they believe they can have a career and kids when they're 40, and just basically look at all the shit that white women in America are doing. Same thing. So your best bet might be finding a nice divorced Chinese woman. That, of course, is rather rare, from what I understand. The divorce rate in America for Asians is the lowest of any group. Beats everybody else. Now, from what I understand, you came up with the idea of scrapping China as a potential dating and mating ground, and you were looking somewhere else in Southeast Asia. That actually might be a better idea. Now, women are women no matter where you go. They're going to look for the best deal they can get, just as a guy does. They might look best in for money and such, material. Men look best in looks. You're a guy. You know how this works. So going to a place like Cambodia, Laos, even Vietnam, you might get better results. I don't know how it is with the Philippines for you guys. We have a whole bunch of Filipina brides around here. They seem all like nice women. You need to, if you have the idea that Chinese or even Southeast Asian women are all supple and they obey and shit like that, please forget that idea. That idea doesn't happen. You're in a country which is not in the West, and we have all heard about your women. I don't want to mention where you're from and how they're really quiet and they obey and such, and we all know this. We're men. We know that women are not quiet. Women do not obey. So just get that out of your scrapbook, buddy. Amusingly, look up the phrase feeding the ducks. It's a Thai phrase, Thailand. And you can see what expecting quiet, humble, and obedient gets you if you come home drunk once too many times. Anyways, I think you get a handle on that. This is all I've got. Sorry, my presentation is not really good on live. If it's helped you at all, though, I'm glad. And if not, well, good luck to you. That's all I got. If I insulted anybody, please feel free to mock Americans in the comments, because you already do. I listen to it sometimes. It's all cool. All right, you all have a good night. Talk to you later.